Well, you may have seen me out, but I would never put myself in a position to get hurt or be caught. I would never hold hands or do anything improper in public. So everything I did personally was private. I made sure of that. I won't send a naked picture, a naked video, anything because it may possibly get out, and I didn't want to take that chance back then. Now, who cares?
The moment Brat stepped into the studio, the atmosphere shifted. She carried herself with her usual poise, but there was a rawness in her eyes that the cameras captured, though the world could never fully grasp. Brat had endured many challenges in her life, yet this day felt different. The woman once known for her strength and unshakable confidence was about to break down and reveal a painful truth. Judy had exposed their most private secrets, leaving Brat to face the aftermath alone. For the first time, she was ready to let the world witness her pain, the truth behind a broken relationship and a betrayal no one could have imagined. As the cameras rolled, her voice trembled with emotion, a striking contrast to the fearless image she had built over the years. This was not just a confession. It was the unveiling of her deepest scars.
I love you, and of course I love her. And I don't like the tension. Because she seen me hurting over the interview you just did. What happened in that interview you did? I don't want them to get the reaction that you give. Because after you did your interview, bloggers and interviewers, they like, you ain't talked to your sister, Brat? I was like, I talk to my sister every day. Whether I talk to you every day or not, we good. Don't worry about it.
I never thought I'd be here talking about this, Brat said, her voice trembling as she sat in front of the cameras. She tried to keep her composure, but her eyes revealed the weight of everything she had been carrying. The world had always known her as a fighter, a woman who could face anything with unshakable confidence. But this time was different. She was vulnerable, stripped of the armor she had worn for years, ready to share the deepest hurt she had ever experienced. For the first time, she opened up about Judy's betrayal, about how the woman she had loved and trusted had exposed their most private secrets. These weren't just arguments or misunderstandings. They were intimate truths, her fears, insecurities, and quiet moments that were supposed to remain sacred between them. And now, those very moments had been laid bare for the world to dissect. Judy knew everything about me, Brat admitted through tears. She knew my weaknesses, my fears, the things I only trusted her with. And she used that against me. She didn't just betray me behind closed doors, she betrayed me in front of everyone. The revelation cut deeper than any blow Brat had ever taken in her life. To her, Judy wasn't just a partner. She had been a safe place, a confidant, and a home. The betrayal wasn't just emotional, it destroyed the very foundation of the relationship they had built together. Brat explained that the breakdown didn't happen overnight. Instead, it was a slow unraveling, piece by piece. Over time, Judy began to pull away, creating an emotional distance that Brat couldn't ignore. I kept thinking it would get better, she said softly. I thought maybe we were just going through a rough patch, but it never did. Judy started keeping things from me, things that were supposed to be ours alone. As Brat's career soared, she noticed Judy changing. Achievements that should have been celebrated together were instead met with indifference, even coldness. I'd come home with good news, with things to be proud of, Brat remembered, her voice cracking. But instead of being happy for me, Judy grew distant. I felt like I couldn't even share my victories with the one person who was supposed to be my biggest cheerleader. That emotional wall eventually became impossible to ignore. Behind it, secrets began to grow, and it wasn't until Judy exposed their private moments that Brat realized the depth of the betrayal. When I found out, it was like a light went out inside me, she admitted. The person I thought I knew, the woman I loved, wasn't who I believed she was. The turning point came when Brat uncovered undeniable evidence of Judy's deceit. I had my suspicions, she confessed, but it wasn't until I saw the evidence that everything came crashing down. The messages, the lies, the hidden conversations, it shattered me. I realized everything I trusted was built on lies. At first, Brat struggled with denial, convincing herself that maybe she was overreacting, maybe she was just being paranoid. But when the truth was laid bare in black and white, there was no escaping it. When I saw it all, I knew there was no going back. The trust was gone, and so was my heart. the discovery was more than the end of a relationship. It was the collapse of the life Brat thought she was building. It forced her to confront a painful reality. The person she had loved was capable of betraying her in ways she never imagined. Accepting that truth meant admitting their relationship had never been what she thought it was. The pain wasn't only emotional, it seeped into every part of her life. This wasn't just about my relationship with Judy, she explained. It affected everything: my career, my friendships, even my sense of self-worth. I started to question everything. What made it worse was Judy's silence. After Brat came forward with her story, fans expected Judy to respond. Surely, they thought, she would speak up, defend herself, explain her side, or at least acknowledge what had been said. But Judy said nothing. She's been silent through all of this, Brat admitted, frustration heavy in her voice. The silence is deafening. It feels like she's hiding from the truth, hoping it'll just go away. But it won't. For Brat, that silence was another form of betrayal. If she had nothing to hide, why wouldn't she stand up and defend herself? Why leave me to carry this alone? The unanswered questions only deepened the wound. Fans, too, began questioning Judy's motives. Was her silence an admission of guilt? Or was she refusing to face the consequences of her actions? For Brat, the quiet felt cruel. She made me feel crazy, she revealed. Like I was imagining things, like my suspicions weren't real. But now that the truth is out, and she still won't say anything, it's like she doesn't even care. That silence became the final blow, the closing chapter of something Brat had once believed in. It's the end of a relationship that had promise but was destroyed by deception, by silence, by betrayal, she said quietly. The weight of it all was crushing, but she knew she couldn't stay trapped in that pain forever. Speaking her truth became her way of reclaiming her strength. Once the story was out, the reaction from the world was immediate and powerful. Fans flooded social media with messages of support, shock, and disbelief. "I can't believe what I'm hearing," one fan tweeted. Brat is so strong for coming forward with this. Others directed their anger at Judy. How could she betray someone who loved her so deeply? Brat deserves so much better. Another wrote. Celebrities also spoke up, rallying around Brat in her moment of vulnerability. "She's an icon for keeping it real and being authentic," one artist posted. "She deserves all the love and support in the world." The overwhelming response showed how deeply Brat's story resonated with people everywhere. Her honesty had not only exposed her own pain but had also touched those who had experienced betrayal in their own lives. Despite the heartbreak, Brat made it clear that this moment would not define her. "This won't tear me down," she said firmly. "I've been through too much in life to let this break me. I'm going to heal. I'm going to move forward, and I'm going to come out stronger." She acknowledged that healing wouldn't be quick or easy. Trust had been broken, and rebuilding her sense of self would take time. But she was determined. "I'm learning to trust myself again," she explained. "That's the most important part. Because at the end of the day, I can't control what other people do, but I can control how I move forward." Her resilience shone through, even in the midst of pain. "I've been through worse, and I know I can overcome this too. This is just a bump in the road, and I'm ready for what comes next." For Brat, telling her story wasn't only about exposing Judy's betrayal. It was about reclaiming her own power. "This is my story," she said with conviction, "and I'm going to write it the way I want. Nobody's going to take that from me." She refused to let betrayal define her future. "I'm moving forward, stronger than ever. I'm not looking back. The future is mine, and I'm ready for whatever comes next." Her journey is one of heartbreak, but also one of resilience. She opened her heart to the world, sharing her pain, her betrayal, and her truth. And in doing so, she reminded everyone watching that even the strongest among us can break, but breaking doesn't mean the end. It means transformation. As she continues her path to healing, fans remain by her side, inspired by her courage. Brat's message is clear. Betrayal may have scarred her, but it will never define her. "I'm ready for my future," she said, eyes filled with determination. "And I'm stronger than I've ever been."